This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, and the stories that lead today's show are: rent movies on Christmas for 99 cents. Tesla limits speed on autopilot. Microsoft regretting regrets on Windows 10. Uber flipping the bird to California, and an update to their tracking of users and their user profiles, plus all the news today. I want to welcome you to episode 1168 of the Geek News Central for Friday, December 23rd. I guess it would be considered the show before Christmas. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider or paypal.me/geek news. You can pick up Ohana gear at cafepress.com/Ohana store. I want to give a warm welcome to all of the new listeners and all the existing Ohana members. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being subscribed to the show. Thank you for letting me do the show on a Friday. I had a Christmas party that I had to go to last night. So duty called, but I promised I would bring you a show, and this is delivery on that. Of course, visit geeknewscentral.com if you're brand new to the show and check everything out. Really, what we want you to do is come over to the website and get subscribed. And it's real easy to do so. All you got to do is, right on the right-hand column of the website, the very top, iTunes, Android, email, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, the RSS feed. If you don't know how to subscribe to a podcast, just click on the more subscribe options and we'll explain to you how to do that. Most important thing to do is get subscribed, so that way you'll get the show delivered immediately upon publication, delivered directly to your mobile device. So we want you to do that and get subscribed to the show. And you go down a little further on the website, and there's a link for the newsletter as well. The newsletter is basically a one-way email that I send out post-show. Has all the links to all the content that I cover during the podcast. We definitely want you to take some time and get signed up for the newsletter as well. That's the two key ingredients to staying connected with the show here. But if you have comments on today's show, geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Geek News and drop me a note over there. And really, that's what it's all about, is staying connected with the show. And if you want to become part of our chat room, part of our Slack channel that we have set up for the Ohana, definitely email me at that Gmail account, and I will get you added to the Slack channel. You can follow me on Google Plus, on Facebook. You can watch the show on the Roku or on the Apple TV. You can listen on Amazon Echo by telling Alexa to play the latest episode of this show's name. You can listen on Stitcher, or you can watch or view on Blueberry.com. Partner shows at Geek News Center include No Better Than Average with Jacob and Jeff, Health Tech Weekly with Jamie Davis, The Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain, the Pro Gear site taken care of by my GNC team, and maybe soon a return of Robot Underpants. Talk about that in the new year, probably. But this show has the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast known to man. Of course, that's our sponsor, GoDaddy. And it is the season, fellas and ladies. Have you waited too long? Have you not went shopping? Is it time to, basically get busy and get something? Well, I'm telling you what you got to do. Buy that loved one a domain name, or buy them a hosting account. Set them up with a brand new hosting account, $1 a month for the first 12 months, includes a free domain, or get a managed WordPress site. That's the one I like. Again, $1 a month for the first year with a free domain. And I had set one up for my daughter about a year ago, and she got a start with the first basically year at $1 a month, and I think her renewal was about $100 bill for the follow-on year to move, basically extend it another year. And but anyway, great way to get going. Have a way to have a website. Have a way to build a brand. Start a podcast. Be a blogger. Who knows? Even just make it a site for Christmas pictures. Who knows? Lots of things to do. And GoDaddy's got a huge ton of products and services that you need to check out. And use that 30% off code too. That's a big saver when you're picking up a server or one of their other products or services that they have. Be sure to share my codes with your friends, family members, people that you know. We want them to come on board. Um, and I apologize at the moment. I'm getting messages from. I'll talk about a topic here that is um, foremost at hand in my Facebook, my cell phone. Everything's been blowing up for about the first hour here. So I'll talk about it here in a second. But anyway, thanks for GoDaddy for being a sponsor. Share those codes. We definitely appreciate it when you do so. So let me just kind of get out of sequence a little bit today. And just a little over an hour ago, I received, it was added to a Facebook message list, and it was a very long explanation about something that's happening to a friend of mine out on the East Coast. And let me put the keyboard down. There are people that are bigger than life, big hearted guys, smart, bright, full of energy. And you never, never, never expect those people to, be in a situation where they're fighting for their life. Here just before Christmas. But very, very good friend of mine that I've known for many years. My God, probably 20 years. I was in the Navy with shipmates together. We were stationed together, flew together. You name it. His name is Jeff Heilman. He's in he's in really bad shape. Fighting for his life right at this very moment. Um, I won't go into details on the show, but if any of you I know many of you that listen to the show are ex shipmates or shipmates of mine that we served together before. Feel free to drop me a line and I'll share the info. But Tim, I don't know if you're watching live right now, but thanks for the update. And I basically got that info already. I do appreciate it. But yeah, man, oh man. So prayers for Jeff and his family. It's pretty serious. With long-term implications that even if he does survive, it's gonna be a tough run. So I'm torn today. I was getting ready to start the show. Got this news and actually delayed here about an hour while I could process what was going on and reaching out to some friends and stuff. But don't want to dump on you guys this stuff, but this just happens. This is part of being part of the Ohana, being part of the family. And Jeff has listened to the show periodically. Doesn't He's not a continuous listener, but he listens from time to time. But boy, oh boy, you just never know. And of course, here comes another call. So this may end up being a show where I'm interrupted 25 times. Who knows? But okay. Anyway, but thoughts and prayers go out to my good friend Jeff and his family, and there's really not a lot more that can be done at this point. The doctors are working desperately to save him. Okay. Yeah, killjoy. Yeah. So on a little lighter note, yesterday my son today's going to a pre-in doc here in Hawaii during the Christmas holidays. I don't know if it's this way where you live, but oftentimes they'll have a camp during a Christmas break. The churches put on camps and so forth. So my son's going to be going to a camp next week. So he's going to the kind of the in doc for that right now. Um, oh my God, the phones are going crazy. Let me send somebody a message so I can tell them, please, I'm doing my show, or else we're gonna get a, okay. Anyway, um, so he's going off to camp next week, so it's gonna be kind of like weird around here. I'm gonna be have to find something to do. Got my rig all set up. Everything's good for CES. Starting to pack the box. Probably shipping one container of stuff to Vegas because I got to ship lithium-ion batteries. They don't like you having that in checked luggage. You can ship lithium ion via FedEx as long as you, declare it. So that stuff's got to go out. Many of you know for many, many years that I have been on a CPAP machine. I have sleep apnea, and I've talked many times about the life change that I had by going on a CPAP machine, and the dramatic. I mean, it was just a life changer for me. I got my life back. I didn't realize how much sleep I wasn't getting, but the one I've had for 10 years, it was time to be replaced. Couldn't get humidifier buckets for it anymore. So anyway, they got my new CPAP machine yesterday, and sleeping with a new machine, it so I didn't sleep good last night just because I'm getting used to the. It's just a little different, so it'll take me a few days to adjust. But these things are crazy. They actually now you can load on your cell phone an app, and it will tell you how you did. It'll tell you if your mask came loose. It'll tell you. It gives you all this detail. You're like, whoa. So my old machine had nothing like that. So it was pretty impressive. So if you have sleep apnea and you've had a machine for a while, and they say they're actually supposed to replace like once every 5 years. So mine went 10. Um, so this is something for you to consider if you're, and they're about $1,200. My insurance covered 80% of mine, so I had to pay the 20% copay, but can't complain. It's a life-saving device. And if you have a wife or a significant other that is complaining to you about your snoring and your maybe stop breathing in the middle of the night, please, please, please consult with your doctor. Get a sleep study. It doesn't matter if you are fat, if you are skinny, if you are healthy. Sleep apnea is not just for fat boys. Okay, it can happen to the most fit people on the planet. So just be aware of it, and don't feel you'll save your life by going and get a sleep study and seeing if you've got a problem or not. So I guess that just it leads me to one other thing here. With my situation with my friend Jeff, if you feel in the holiday period, there's an uptick of people that die um, because they're on vacation and they may feel that they've got something going on, and they say, "Well, I'm not going to go to the doctor. I'll wait till I get home." Well, those people that are on travel, that do get sick and do have a something that is ailing them, heart attack, ongoing, something going on with chest pains or whatever, please, 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 even if you're away from home, it's going to be inconvenient. Go to the emergency room. All right. I want us all to get through the Christmas holiday, um, and just don't overlook that stuff. People are stressed up over the holiday period. That doesn't, that adds for no fun either. So anyway, that's I'll get off my preaching case here, but anyway, that's what. But anyway, Merry Christmas to all of you, and thanks for being part of the Ohana, and thanks for supporting the show for all the years, and of course, thanks to GoDaddy for being continue to be the sponsor here of the show. It's greatly appreciated, and I appreciate all of you very much. Okay, let me get into the stack, and for those of you that are with me on Facebook today, hello. And those of you that are joined on YouTube, thanks for being here. And we're also up on live stream as well. So, got a great show lined up for you here. Lots to talk about. And of course, I led the show off with some stories. And I want to start first and foremost by if you're, like this year, our Christmas is going to be a little bit subdued. My wife working at Hawaiian Airlines and being absolutely bottom on the totem pole, she has to work Christmas Day from 6 to noon. So we're trying to decide what we're going to do. And I'll probably pick her up, have Chris with me, my son Ray, and we'll probably go do Christmas dinner somewhere local here. We won't cook at the house, and we'll come back and do what we normally do with opening presents and that kind of stuff. So I think what's going to happen on Christmas Day for us, at least, because we're not doing a big, huge family thing. maybe in the evening we'll go to some of the extended family here in Hawaii. We have something on Christmas Eve, but Christmas Day you can rent any movie from Google or Amazon for just 99 cents. So these holiday promotions um, include a number of recent blockbusters. So use the promo code Movie99. In both cases, you can only get one movie per account, and you have until January 23rd to redeem the offer. So you get one for 99 cents. So between Redbox and Amazon and Google, you can score up some movies to watch. If there's some that you haven't watched that you need to. So there's a little Christmas present for you. Movie nine, just by listening to the show, even if you don't support us as an insider, you can save big on renting a movie. All right. Hey, let's talk a little bit about Tesla and something they have announced or something that they have done. Tesla has implemented a forced hard speed limit on its autopilot self-driving system. Tesla will no longer allow drivers some leeway in setting speed limits with the company's semi-autonomous autopilot system. So as a general rule of the road, we all know that we probably can be, if it's marked 55, we can probably be 59 or 60 and, go by a police officer and get radared or lasered and probably not get a ticket. It's when when you tick up, to 61, then you're probably at risk. But usually that 5 mile per hour is about right. But Tesla confirmed that on a highway, they're going to allow up to 5 miles over, but on a non-divided road, the autopilot has is going to be hard coded to the actual speed limit. But if the speed limit on that divided road's 80, you're still going to be able to go 80. So so this is an additional safety feature that they're implementing, and these new safety features are coming out just as the companies are hard work laying the groundwork for fully autonomous cars. Hardware introduced in the new Model S and Model X cars, and the upcoming Model 3 will supposedly be capable of self-driving in the future. So, if you can afford that price tag on a Tesla, that's where it's at. But in more self-driving news, the teen over Uber, man, we talked about a little bit on the last show how the California DMV was saying you cannot drive autonomous cars in San Francisco, and Uber basically said, well, screw you, we're going to. And so basically, California DMV upped it by one after meeting with the company and pulled the vehicle's registrations. So they deregistered the vehicles, and I thought, wow, well, that's pretty bold to go ahead and deregister them. Well, instead of going back and getting the proper permit, and it's a $150 permit with a driving plan, and for those they're driving a Volvo. You think about Volvo vehicles. What is Volvo all about? Volvo's all about safety, right? That's what you talk about Volvo. Really, the second thing you think about is, really safe vehicles. Well, the Volvo XC90 SUV that they're driving, they all got loaded up. All 10 vehicles got loaded up on Otto, whoever is a trucking partnership or whatever that Uber has, and they shipped them to Arizona, where the Arizona governor said, "We welcome you with open arms to come and do testing in our state." And they said Uber is welcome to test out its cars free and clear of the laws of the Golden State. So basically, Uber said, "Okay, California, you want to be that way? We're leaving." So it makes me wonder just a little bit. And if you think about what they've done here, is they've basically thumbed their nose at California. But these cars had a driver in them with their hands on the wheel. That was part of the deal. Not controlling, but a hand on the wheel, and also an observer. So the vehicles were not, they were autonomous driving, but there was a person behind the wheel and an observer. Now, they did have an incident where they ran a red light, some other stuff. So, that driver really didn't do the job he was supposed to do and stop the vehicle. And there's some stories about that being a technicality or something, whatever. Anyway, it blew a red light. Not good. And but it makes you wonder with California. California is all about you got to pay attention to the man. You have to there you can't go out of the guidelines. Just wonder if this is gonna people are gonna start to pull back from doing as much business in California as they did. I don't know. We'll see. But also Uber's got its own issue. And boy, oh boy, my I'm not kidding you. My Facebook and everything's exploding right now. Mike, Melanie, yep, thanks. Um, Uber's got some other issues, and they respond to accusations that it tracks users for weeks and doesn't. And basically, what Uber said is, "Oh, no, 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 we're not doing that." But um, their response doesn't seem accurate. The response they made to the community does not appear right when people haven't rode in an Uber car for a couple of weeks, but yet see within their app that there's actually map data that's being shared, that it's accessing map data. So and this is not from just one person. Um, that this app is exhibiting behavior that does not align with Uber's explanation. In all cases so far, users had not opened their Uber app again for several days, and yet the app itself accessed their location recently. And you can tell that in iOS um, when that's happened. So Uber's still got some explaining to do on why they're tracking us 24/7. Of course, a lot of other apps are tracking us 24/7 too. When Windows 10 was launched in 2015, it came with a year-long free upgrade offer, and many of you took advantage of that, including me. I still have a few machines on Windows 7 that could never be updated to Windows 10. But hundreds of millions of people took, Microsoft up on that offer, and lots didn't, opting to stick with their old Windows 98 or Windows XP or Windows 7, 8, whatever it may have been that they were on. So there was a podcast. Microsoft Chief Marketing Officer Chris Capolessa, oh boy, Capocella, says on the Windows Weekly podcast, which is a good one with Paul Tarot and Mary Jo Foley, that he regrets getting too aggressive with the campaign to get people to upgrade. And, Microsoft was eager to get machines onto Windows 10, but they went to a lot of extreme measures. And he says there was one part of the campaign that he says was way over the line just a few months before the deadline for the free upgrade offer. Windows 7 8 users were getting a confusing notification where clicking the red X in the corner, usually the universal way to cancel something, to actually schedule the Windows 10 update. And so they have some regrets, and there's a little video clip about it, about him talking about that. I think there's many of us that will agree to that. It was pretty annoying, and Microsoft took a lot of heat from it, but they do have some regrets. But I wonder how many people were forced to upgrade to Windows 10 they really didn't want to. Are you still playing Pokemon Go? Here's what Pokemon Go is doing for its holiday event. Phase 1 for December 25th to January 3rd, Pokestops will be more likely to dish out the baby Pokemon eggs that were introduced earlier this month. The first time you spin a Pokestop each day during the period, you'll get a single-use incubator to hatch your eggs in. And Phase 3 from December 30th to January 8th, they're increasing the spawn rate of starter Pokemon and their evolutions. So, what about Ingress? What about Ingress for the holiday period, Niantic? What about us? Did you forget about us? I think they did. I hope they're doing something because I'm still playing Ingress. I'm not playing Pokemon Go. So, all right. Moving to the next topic. All right. If you are looking for more things to watch, the Captain America Civil War hits Netflix on the 25th. So, Lots of movies upcoming, and I'll have a link to cnet.com's NetPicks that will basically list all the different movies that are going to be out that you can possibly watch over the holiday weekend. Did you guys know that the FDIC got hacked? The FBI is investigating how hackers infiltrated computers at the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation for several years beginning in 2010. And the breach senior FDIC officials believe was sponsored by China's military. People with knowledge on the matter said. Yes, this is making news today. The security breach in which hackers gained access to a dozen computers, including the workstations for former FDIC chairwoman Sheila Bair, has also been the target of a probe by a congressional committee. The FDIC is one of three federal agencies that regulate commercial banks in the United States. It oversees confidential plans for how big banks would handle bankruptcy, and it has access to records of millions of individual American deposits. So last month, the banking regulator allowed congressional staff to view internal communications between senior FDIC officials related to the hacking. Two people took part in the review, said in exchanges, officials referred to the attacks as having been carried out by Chinese military-sponsored hackers. The staff was not allowed to keep copies of the exchanges, which did not explain why the FDIC officials believed the Chinese military was behind the breach. No one has been able to review those logs, and I don't ever remember this being announced. Maybe it was, and I just forgot about it. But the FDIC is pretty important for all of us to have any money in any savings account in any bank in the United States. For those of you that are overseas, the FDIC insures our deposits up to, I believe, $120,000. So if the bank goes out of business and you've got money in a savings account with those banks, the FDIC comes in and makes those savings, or basically makes those accounts good, checking and savings. So you do have, it's essentially insurance on your, um, and basically the all the banks pay into, and they pay into the FDIC to bankroll these failures. And there are a number of failures that happen in the United States every year. It's not unheard of for banks to go out of business. But so long as you're smart and you don't have all your money in one bank, you're at least insured, I believe, up to 120,000, at least here in the United States. So yeah, it's what a deal. They get in there and they hack. And they figure out which banks are on the verge of going out of business, and if they're on the stock exchange, you short the stock and make money off of bank failures. But who knows what else they put in there? But it continues to be unnerving that banking systems are being breached. You would think those banking systems would have the best security in the industry. Lots of talk this year, and we've talked about it a lot about self-driving cars. And you know, we seem, and we talked a little bit on the last show, that most of us will not have a autonomous car for many years because we won't be able to afford it. We'll let the rich people buy them to begin with, and then drive the price down, and little by little we'll be able to afford an autonomous vehicle. But some people are saying that we're another 23 years away, but I just don't think so. I think the targets move. BMW, Intel, Mobileye, Uber, Volvo, Ford, Delphi, GM have all set 2021 or earlier as the year by which steering wheels become optional. And that's not too long ago. We're about ready to click the clicker here on 2016 and move into 2017, and that's 4 years. To me, it's very exciting. And again, I think we're going to see huge movement in the trucking industry and the insurance industry. Everything is going to be affected here. So, good write up by ours. I'll let you guys go ahead and read the full article, but this is going to be big, and I really, to be honest with you, personally, I can't wait for it. In an article that can't quite fully make the show here in detail, let's see how we want to put this. a company that sells neck massagers has settled a lawsuit for over collection of personal data. So, since our refrigerators and tea kettles and cars are all collecting data on us, while laughing at your privacy and security concerns, it only makes sense that other types of devices are doing the same thing. Back in September, a company by the name of, well, I'll leave the company's name off the show here. I'll let you guys read it. Was sued by um, another group because they were collecting sensitive data about their usage all hours of the day and night. More specifically, the device and its corresponding smartphone app were collecting data on that, on them, and what settings and so forth were being used. So, temperature, all kinds of interesting data was being sent back. So, the company has settled the lawsuit for collecting that information and forwarding it without forwarding it without. Sorry, yeah, they paid up. Oh man, can you imagine? Think about that for a second. Satellite image of Sahara, yeah, the Sahara deserts, first snowfall in 37 years. Um, According to the article, are absolutely mesmerizing. Well, it looks like snow on dirt. I'll bring up the picture for those of you that are watching. And so anyway, yes, they had snow in the Sahara Desert. People think, that the desert's always hot, right? Well, I can put you in a vehicle, and let's we can be in San Diego. In 3 hours, I can have you in an area that is 100 degrees during the daytime and very, very, very chilly at night. So, but the Sahara getting snow is rare. So it's been 37 years, and so anyway, that's what's happening, and that's global warming for you. 37 years since snowfall in the Sahara Desert. So something is amiss, right? Consumer Reports, for the very first time, has not put the new MacBook Pro on a recommended buy. They tested all three variants of the Apple's new MacBook Pro, and Consumer Reports was surprised to see the battery life on each machine vary drastically with no particular rhyme or reason. All of the more bizarre is that Consumers Reports battery testing is far from machine intensive. On the contrary, it involves just basically a browser running and going through a sequence of pages. So they say that you normally see about 5% variance between machines. That wasn't the case. And they don't go into the detail on how bad it was, but it received Consumer Reports' lowest possible score for battery life. Apple's new flagship notebook lineup failed to receive a buy recommendation. And we've already talked about what I decided to do on an earlier show. You have some Bitcoin? Bet you wish you did. At the start of 2016, single Bitcoins were only worth $435. But as of today, each is now worth $900 or 730 euros. So if you've got some Bitcoins, congratulations. You made a wise investment. It might be a good time to start cashing some of them out because it's close to some of their all-time highs. All right. So very, very cool. I don't have any Bitcoins at all. None. Zero. During Christmas, we're always shopping for deals. I was no exception. I was looking around for stuff, but I don't normally buy luxury goods like wallets or purses or so. My wife doesn't buy expensive. I don't have to worry about her going out and spending $1,000 on a shopping bag. The only little nice thing I did buy myself this year was I bought myself a Toomey computer bag. And that was it was on sale, but It's something I've wanted forever, and it was basically my one thing I spoiled myself on this year. But I bought it from the Toomey store. I went right to an authorized Toomey store. But counterfeit goods being sold by traders using Facebook and Instagram have exploded, and big cities like New York and L.A. and San Francisco, you can almost literally walk around and find fake goods, just because so much is being imported, and it's tries to be passed off as one thing or another. But in the UK, they made a huge sting operation, and they were able to capture a huge mega load of fakes. And oftentimes, what they'll do is they'll send in, uh, you know, one part of a counterfeit item, and then they'll ship another shipment that the piece that they will attach to it to make it actually look counterfeit. So it included cosmetics, electrical products, chargers, leather goods, tobacco, and that's another thing. You just, I had to laugh when I was in Vegas 2 years ago. Um, I went into a cigar shop off of Fremont Street, and the guy's like, and I'm looking at his cigar collection, and he says, "You like Cubans?" And I'm like, well, "Of course I like Cuban cigars." And be honest with you, most Cuban cigars today, the equivalents of them from you know, Venezuela, Costa Rica, and so forth, they're just as good. But he says, "Oh, come over here and let me look." This is a brick and mortar store in Vegas, and he um, opens up a cabinet and shows me these supposed Cuban cigars in the drawer, and I'm like, he doesn't know me, and he's trying to sell me Cuban cigars, and not only that, they were fake. They were you looked at the wrapper, some limited edition something, I used my cell phone, used a quick Google, and I'm like, they didn't even make that. So this guy was out of a regular shop in Vegas trying to sell me fake stuff. So it's not just the guys on the street corner that are trying to sell stuff. This could be someone in a brick and mortar trying to sell you fake stuff too. So be careful out there as you're finishing up your holiday goods. I remember I remember when I was about how many years ago is this? I was in Thailand or something for the first time, and the big thing then was Rolexes. Everyone had to have. Of course, I couldn't afford a $10,000 Rolex, but I could afford a $40 knockoff from Thailand. And they had pretty good knockoffs at the time. They even had the ones with the perpetual motion. So it was all cool. That fake Rolex looked good for about 2 weeks, and then because I was wearing it every day, it started rubbing, and what little gold was on there started rubbing off, and it was you could see the steel underbody. It was oh man, but yeah, I think I probably have one of those things laying around in a box buried somewhere here. But yeah, um, yeah, that fake Rolex, $40. It was a great deal 20 years ago. All right. A court won't grant immunity to officer who issued a be on the lookout order on whistleblowing cop. While law enforcement continues to spoil, what? While law enforcement barrels continue to spoil from the presence of bad apples, and I don't think there's a lot of bad apples in law enforcement, but any business has bad apples. Um, there was a officer who basically written a file complaint against his police chief. And then the police chief at that point basically went out and warned everyone within the county to be on the lookout for this dude, as he was a loose cannon and considered the man a danger to any law enforcement agent. So this went out, and the officer that had written the complaint got wind of him putting this information out about him, and took him to court. Well, what's happened is there are some certain amount of protections that officials have that work for cities, counties, states. Many times, if there's legal action, the city or county or state will have to foot the legal bill based upon what the person has done in their position. Well, the court is not granting immunity to the officer who issued a be on the lookout order on a whistleblowing cop. So this is this is not gonna turn out well. And there's more to the story um, than meets basically than what I've told you about here. But basically, um, this, at least at this point, this whistleblower is being protected. But I'm sure, based on everything else, that the damage has probably already been done. But anyway, this officer will not get immunity, and he can be sued. As a reminder, the NORAD Santa Tracker will be up in operation here directly. Many of you that listen to this show a little later today will probably know that New Year's Eve is upon many people in the rest of the world. So the NORAD Santa Tracker is getting up in operation. But many of you know how the NORAD Santa Tracker started? Since 1955, the Aerospace Defense Organization has been tracking Jolly St. Nick as he darts around the globe to deliver presents before children wake up on Christmas morning. And the tradition actually started by mistake. A department store ad posted in a local newspaper provided a phone number where the children could call up Santa. However, thanks to a misprint, and I've got some stories about misprints in the Yellow Pages, the children end up calling NORAD. Instead, NORAD staff stayed up all night answering the calls of eager children looking to speak to Santa, and it's been a tradition ever since. All right, cool beans. There's the story after the story. Scientists have just discovered a huge cluster of galaxies hidden in Earth's backyard. Yeah, these things have been hidden by our own Milky Way, and scientists have actually been able to use some of the new scientific tools and some of the new stuff that we have in orbit to see through the Milky Way. And they have found one of the largest massive clusters of universes. It's a massive 370 million light years across, and up to now is hidden from view from scientists. And of course, the view is obscured by the huge clouds of dust and gas that exist in our home galaxy of the Milky Way, and its existence came as a surprise to even the most seasoned stargazers. And they're going batshit crazy over this because it's highly dense. And so I'm sure we'll be hearing more about this. You guys hear the guys running the buzzsaw behind us? This is a challenge of doing the show during the daytime in a studio that has windows open, because I have a neighbor that's building something, and he finally decided to come out and start. So I apologize for the back noise. If you're flying, don't name your Wi-Fi hotspot Galaxy Note 7. To do so may end up costing you a meeting with the TSA, police, or someone else. But a flight was airborne, Virgin American flight out of San Francisco, and someone had turned on a Wi-Fi hotspot with that name in it. And the crew got pretty serious. They were going to start searching bags, looking for the phone. Don't know if they caught their man or woman, but someone was guilty of putting up a Wi-Fi with the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 as the actual Wi-Fi hotspot name. Oh, come on. I'm sorry. I'm getting text by my wife, and she's sent it 3 times. He was picked up. All right. That should suffice. That should calm her down. All right, moving on here. The third report on the House Representative Intelligence Committee has released a report about Edward Snowden. And it does not in any way put him in a positive light. And so it's a 33-page write-up, and Edward Snowden was quick to respond, but he continues to be a traitor. I know many of you have a different thought about Edward Snowden, but if he ever comes back to the United States, he will definitely face justice. But anyway, I'll have the link up in the show notes for you to check out. There was this article on The Verge talking about the best movies of 2016. And I'm like, oh, let me check these out. And I went through these, And there's not a single movie in here that I've watched this year. La La Land, The Handy, The Handmaiden, American Honey, The Lobster, which I've read through the description, seems to be an absolutely ridiculously bizarre movie title or movie story, and it's considered the top one of the top ones. Hell or High Water, Moana, The Witch, Queen of Katwe, Moonlight, Hunt for Wilder People, King Jack, the movie Wiener, yes, Anthony Weiner, Morris from America, Sing Street, Life Animated. I haven't seen any of these movies. I don't think I want to watch a movie about a dude who sends inappropriate pictures to minors. I just why is that even being said as a top movie? That's just disgraceful. I don't get it. Um, anyway, the top 15 movies of 2016 according to The Verge. In more enlightening news, the Voyager probes are still making amazing discoveries. Of course, on this show, we talked about Voyager 1, went where no human made object has gone before crossing into the heliosphere. Before Voyager 1 left the bubble of the territory dominated by our sun, it collected our very first data on the cold, dark borderlands marking the interstellar boundary. Now, Voyager 2 is making the same journey, passing through the outer layer of our heliosphere towards all that lays beyond into deep space. But 5 years later, the journey is shaping up to be remarkably different. The boundary is thinner. No, not thinner. Is not. It's basically not changing. It's staying steady state, which is very different than Voyager 1. They think it's because when Voyager 1 went through the heliosphere, we were at a peak for sun activity. And now that we're near the minimum amount of activity on the cycle as Voyager 2 is traveling through, that the heliosphere doesn't have as big of a, or as thick of a boundary, I guess is the best word. But anyway, pretty exciting stuff. Then, of course, we know the Voyagers have uranium on board. And even though that they will, have a half-life of 88 years, we still have plenty of power for, the next 20 years or so for the Voyager spacecraft to report back. I don't know what they're going to report back once they get into deep space. There's really not a lot there. So we'll see if they continue to surprise us as Voyager 1, continues deeper into deep space and the Voyager 2 continues to do its outbound to get to deep space. There's new drone footage showing the Tesla Gigafactory taking shape. Of course, this is the big Gigafactory that's being built out in Nevada. And capable of producing, according to Tesla, 500,000 cars a year. But this is definitely a mammoth facility, and looks like they got a ways to go yet. So I don't know where they're going to be at, but this thing is give you an idea of size. 107 football fields. That's going to be the size of the complete complex when it's up and done. So let me see for those of you that are, oh, that was dumb. Paste and go. Let's load this up. Someone flew a DJI drone. Got some aerial footage of it. Yeah, just a bunch of buildings. Not a lot to see there. Oh, this actual picture shows a little more detail. But anyway, it's a YouTube video, and you can take a peek if you want to. The link will be up in the show notes. All right. All right. What's up? What have I got left in the stack here? Oh, Cassini's captures Titan mysterious clouds on its camera. So that's just pretty cool. Titan is scientists are really excited about Titan. I don't know if they can ever go there per se, if there could ever be a mission mounted to Titan. But Titan has gotten a lot of attention over the years. So they do have weather on Titan, and so a few clouds you can see in the image. Nothing dramatic like we see here on Earth, but they do have a pretty cool image for you to take a peek at. All right. U.S. is starting to ask foreign travelers for their social media info. Homeland Security approved the controversial proposal a few days ago. So foreigners visiting the United States under the Visa Waiver Program will find a new question asking for their social media info in the travel authorization they have to fill out. It reads, please enter information associated with your online presence along with a drop-down menu for various social media outlets and a text box for the username associated with each one. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection first requested its addition to Electronic System for Travel Authorization, ESTA, back in June. And in an effort to help identify terrorist threats, according to Politico, the Department of Homeland Security approved the controversial proposal on December 19th. So, citizens from 38 countries that don't need a visa to enter the U.S. still have to apply for an ESTA. So, and some of what they've got listed there is Facebook, Flickr, GitHub, Google, Instagram, just paste it, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Twitter, Vine, Vulcan Talk, I guess that's a German system, YouTube, or other. So they want you to put all your information in there. So this is, they can be looking at your social media stuff before you come in to make sure you're not being, or at least being on the naughty list. Good news for Apple developers. Apple's dropped the requirement for apps use HTTPS by 2017. They're giving app developers a little more time to extend. That's good news. There's a lot of things going on at Apple right now behind the scenes that that we're kind of aware of, but they haven't announced yet. So a lot of stuff in works. A lot of stuff. Of course, Apple's during the Christmas holidays they're on a reduced work staff, just like most companies are. So looking forward to seeing what's coming in 2017. Also, if just to re-educate you folks, if you're downloading stuff on BitTorrent, be aware that it's very easy for people to know what you're downloading if you're not using a VNC. I know what you downloaded. Download I know what you download.com is got all kinds of information that you can look yourself up. So I loaded my page, and let me see if I can. I really don't want to show my IP online. Can I do this without doing that? Well, anyway, when you load I know what you download.com up, it will actually detect the IP that you are coming from, and it will load the list of torrent downloads and distributions for your specific IP. It'll give them the information on what you've been doing. So if you've been using BitTorrent, I'm just giving you a warning right now. It's not difficult in the least to be able to track what you're doing. Computers connected to the internet are assigned a unique number known as an IP address. IP addresses consist of 4 numbers in the range of 0 to 255, separated by periods. Like example, 127.0.0.1. A computer may have either a permanent static IP address or one that is dynamically assigned leased to it. Most of you that are on cable, you get a new IP once in a blue moon. Mine hasn't changed in over a year. I've been on the same IP at my internet service provider for a year, but they can be, basically they can be updated, but most don't. So there's a lot of history for you on those IPs, and I'm loading up some some IPs and some people that are close to me. Let me see if so here's an example. This is not my IP, but 75.85.74.17, and I'll leave the last number off. On December 11th, they detected that they downloaded Harry Potter, the complete 8-film collection. They downloaded Pete's Dragon, and they downloaded the Lego Movie. So those were 3 movies that this IP downloaded. So here's another neighbor of mine, or someone that's on within the same area, that has a IP within it range, and it downloaded a Japanese film called Otokomura. Another neighbor of mine. I can't really say what this person downloaded, but let me see if I can tell what he likes. Um, hmm. Okay, so this individual, I'm telling you, there's information here that you may not necessarily want out because it not only shows the regular movies, it shows the XXX. And if I can figure out who owns this IP, I can pretty much tell you their taste of adult material. Their taste, and let me use that word, that ES, taste. And here's another one. Nora Jones, a movie. No, music. So they downloaded two CDs. Um, so very easy, folks. If you're not using a VNC and using BitTorrent for people to understand what you're downloading, be aware. Okay. All right. On Mars, a spoon has been found. Yes, indeed. Let me show you the spoon for those of you that are watching. And I apologize. Construction's going on. You see the spoon in the picture? This is over in Coast to Coast AM. So it sure looks like a spoon. A little long. So maybe the alien had a bigger hand or something. But anyway, that's the spoon that's on Mars. What else have we got here from Coast to Coast today? There was an alien sighting in the UK. Some taxi driver saw a very strange person standing basically beside the road. I'm getting feedback into my microphone today. I apologize if you guys are hearing that. Um, Let me read this here. Okay, a driver in England claims that he witnessed some kind of alien entity on the side of the road last Thursday afternoon. The experience has left him deeply shaking. During what would otherwise be a routine drive, he noticed a tall, dark figure that seemed to be wearing a Stetson. Intrigued by the odd stranger, the man slowed down as he approached the perceived person and realized that the being looked to be about 7 feet tall. Even weirder, the witness told Somerset Live that the entity had this long, thin tube coming from the top of it and spikes coming out of the sides. The middle bit of it was like moleskin and hairy. According to the man, the anonymous figure stood motionless, get this, inside a box that was shooting off sparks. Okay, how did he know he was. Okay. The strange encounter, he lamented, has left him struggling to sleep as he attempts to decipher what exactly it was that he saw on the side of the road. UFO enthusiasts will likely suggest the man inadvertently spotted an alien in transit, perhaps arriving here on Earth, while skeptics may argue that the unfortunate driver had been hoaxed by pranksters or maybe had been drinking too much alcohol. Who knows? But based on the man's decision to remain anonymous, it stands to reason that he's not fabricating a tale, since there's no glory in being an unnamed alien witness. So, this is the time, folks, we need cameras in our cars. You live in Naples, Italy. Super volcano sitting stirring under Naples. So, this one last time it blew 500 years ago really did some damage. So, be aware. It's a grumbling underneath. And also, could a clue to the Roswell crash still be in the city? Anticipation of next year's 70th anniversary of the infamous incident, which put its city on the proverbial map, the Roswell Daily Record is hoping its readers may unknowingly hold a clue to the mystery. Working with former British Minister of Defense UFO investigator Nick Pope, the newspaper is calling on longtime Roswell residents to scour their homes for anything that may be related to the 1947 event. Believe me, if I found something in my home that I thought was part of the 1947 event, it had long been news. It would have long been news. All right, that's it. We are done. We're at the end of the show. So I've made it at just about an hour today. I definitely appreciate you all hanging out with me. I hope that you have an absolutely joyous Merry Christmas. For those of you that don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a joyful, happy holiday as well. But be back with you next week on schedule. I don't think I'm going to be off the show. but be back with you on Monday the 26th. I know many of you will be off, so maybe I will try to do something in the daytime as well and do a daytime show to attract more folks in. But I'm going to put it at a wrap at this point. Again, send your comments to geeknews@gmail.com. Don't forget to support our sponsors at geeknewscentral.com, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Get your late Christmas shopping in right there. That's the place to do it. Don't worry, there's a gift there for someone, an online get started blogging or podcasting gift. So definitely check that out. And follow me on Twitter at Geek News or on Facebook. Friend me. Let me know that you're a fan of the show. I look forward to bringing the next podcast. Everyone, take care. We'll see you next time. Aloha.